Hola. Buenos dias. Hello, reporting live here from Cassie's kitchen with another random thought of the day. So I'm standing here, I'm about to make some soup and a latte. But I must be honest, this random thought did occur slightly earlier. But given my circumstances, I was not able to just whip out my camera and record. I figured this was a more appropriate time to talk about this. I am going to be a little bit lazy today. I'm not making the soup from scratch. It is just good old grocery store bought tomato soup, but it's really good actually. I've had this one before. If you have a fresh market in your area, I normally wouldn't buy, I don't normally buy groceries from fresh market. Only items that I know for a fact are good because it is kind of expensive. It'd be the equivalent of like going to Whole Foods in California. It's whole paycheck. For those of you who know, it is very expensive. And so I figured, well, I'll just get a soup there. I should probably do this over the sink. 1 sec. Whip this up, heat it up, put some mozzarella cheese in. Okay, so I'm gonna let that tomato soup come to a boil. Meanwhile, let's discuss my random thought that I had earlier today that I felt compelled to share with you guys. It's Sunday. We normally go to an earlier mass time. I'm Catholic, so we go to church on Sundays. And anyways, I lost track of time. Now, I must admit this is not the first time. And it's not even just with going to church that I'm always running late. It's other things as well. Appointments, dentist appointments. It's meeting up with people. If I'm supposed to meet up with my parents or friends, I'm always running late. It's not a good problem. I'm not even proud of it. Like, I'm just acknowledging that this is an issue that I haven't obviously dealt with. So since I was a kid, I've always been running late. It's not like, oh, I just spent too much time doing my makeup. I wait till the last minute to do something. So here's my thought process, because it kind of bothered my family, and not kind of, it always bothers my family when I'm late. And you know, I was like, you know what could I, like, I didn't even do much. All I did was shower, and it shouldn't have taken. So I really had to like evaluate, and I think that's important too, you know, if like to be like self-aware enough to realize when it's you, it's me, hi, I'm the problem. And so it's important to realize when it's you. I need to make sure I'm self-aware enough to know when it's me, and therefore I need to fix the problem. Again, going back to the story. So, you know, I'm sitting there, I'm like, all I did was take a shower. Like, that should not have taken me so long. So I'm like retracing my steps. I'm like, where did I go wrong? You know, like, why do I always do this? It can be seen as a disrespect of other people's time. I retrace my steps, and I remember telling myself in my head, oh, I have like 30 minutes. That's plenty of time. Like, I only need like 10, 12 minutes to shower, you know, and then like I have like another 10 minutes to do everything else. I don't know, brush my hair. And I don't know, in my head it made sense. It made logical sense. I had plenty of time. I realized the disconnect is my concept of time is not reality. So when I think, oh, that's plenty of time, it's not plenty of time. And even if I think it's plenty of time, realistically, I'm not gonna take the time that I think I'm going to take. The reason why I bring up this story is because then I saw like a parallel between this problem and bigger problems. So sometimes the best way to understand a bigger problem is by understanding a smaller problem first. So just understanding the problem, maybe the bigger problem on a smaller scale, can help you evaluate it. It just helps you see things more clear, and you can find a solution faster, a more efficient solution, without overthinking it, because usually complex, bigger problems obviously involve complex and bigger solutions. So anyways, it kind of led me to this parallel. And the parallel is procrastinating in life, with life goals, with big goals. I think I have plenty of time. The same way I thought I had plenty of time to get ready and be ready to go. And that just wasn't the reality. And not only that, because I told myself I have plenty of time to get ready, I wasted time. And the reality, yes, I did shower, but I did waste time. I put on my hair mask and I let the hair mask sit there while I did the rest of my showering. And then I put on a YouTube video while I was brushing my hair, which made me brush my hair slower. And then I put some lotion on and I added all these extra little things. It just made me think of the parallel, you know, okay, where am I, you know, I'm probably applying the same logic to bigger problems or to bigger things in life, and bigger things as in goals, you know, wanting to start a YouTube channel, wanting to start my own business, wanting to be involved in more volunteer work and helping the community. I'm really big into animal rescues, homelessness, and maybe even start my own nonprofit. I had to change out the battery because this is another thing I procrastinated. I literally have 3 batteries that there's always should be a battery charging, so I never have to run into this issue. And I procrastinated. I said, I'll do it later. Going back to my story, I realized, okay, well, this is the same issue I have in smaller issues. I can evaluate on a smaller scale. So, you know, I was thinking about all those things I want to do, those big goals, you know, starting a YouTube channel, starting my own business, starting a nonprofit, being more involved, growing in my faith. These are all things that I've wanted to do for some time, but I procrastinate. And I know this is a very common thing. It's not like a unique thing. A lot of people have this issue, but it's good to recognize it. Yeah, I think the reason why I procrastinate is because I think I have plenty of time to do it. Oh, yes, it's something I want to do, you know, but I'll have plenty of time to do it. It's not that I'm not working on it. It's just that I have time to do it, or I will do it. I'm working on something else right now, but I will get to it. Or maybe the other thing I could be telling myself is, well, let me just do this first and then I'll do that, you know, and let me just, like, you just constantly put it in the back end of things. You know, you do other things that maybe aren't as important, or they could be done simultaneously, and then you just postpone it. And yes, it is difficult. It is very hard to work on multiple things at the same time. That's very, you know, especially with work. I get off work, I'm exhausted. I don't have energy to do things, but I have to do it. If it was easy, everyone would do it. I have to remind myself it is difficult, but it can be done. You know, if I'm tired, have an espresso shot and get to it. Working out, same thing. I'm tired, well, then I cannot be upset when, you know, I'm not getting results health-wise. You know, if I want to be healthier and I'm not seeing the results, but I also know that I'm not putting time into it, eating healthier, going to the gym, then I have to take accountability and know that I was choosing to not put time into it. You know, the same way I would have to take accountability this morning. Yeah, I'm sorry, it was my fault. I told myself I thought I had time, and then because of that, I wasted time and I ended up being late. Because I feel like going back, I probably could have gotten ready in 30 minutes. I really could have done it, but I needed to be more efficient within those 30 minutes. Shower, brush my hair, get, you know, no time wasted, no YouTube, no putting on hair masks, just shower, get out the necessities and out the door. That's the type of mindset I should have also, that I can apply to bigger things, bigger goals, bigger problems. Because if I'm not efficient with my time, of course I'm never gonna reach my goal. Anyways, just something I thought of. And it's common sense, to be honest. This is kind of like a duh, but isn't that crazy? It's like sometimes something can be so simple, but can feel so difficult to truly understand it. And not only that, not only just understanding, it could be so difficult to actually apply to your life. It's simple, but it's so hard to apply. You know, it's kind of one of those easier said than done things, you know. It's simple, it's a simple solution, but I think where we go wrong is we don't truly understand it. Even though it's simple, we don't really evaluate it, and therefore we can't apply it. Not that we can't, it's that we choose not to apply it because we don't really want to understand it, or maybe it's not really the solution we want to hear, you know? And in my case, for time, you know, being so late and a procrastinator, I convinced myself that it was okay. You know, it's not something I needed to work on. And I knew the solution was just be faster or just be more efficient. You know, deep down, I probably always knew that. It's just, I didn't like the solution. I didn't like how it sounded. Well, that means I can't watch my YouTube videos while I brush my hair. That's no fun. Well, that means I can't put my hair mask on. Well, if I don't want to rush, then I need to wake up earlier and have more time. There's always an opportunity cost. And I should know this. I was an econ major. Opportunity cost. You have to pick and choose where the sacrifices are going to come from. I have to remind myself of the end goal. I also heard that there's like oh, that's interesting. Somebody's here. Look at that. I gotta go, my mom's here. Okay, so I had to stop recording because my mom came to visit me, and I've never never gonna say no to a spontaneous hangout with my mom. So I turned up the camera. I'm back. I already ate my soup. Look, gone, no more. Empty. So yeah, you didn't get to see that part. The soup was delicious, but I did want to finish my point. I'm gonna put my hoodie back on. Okay. I usually try not to have hoodies on around my mom because my mom will assume I just put no effort into getting ready for the day. So I had my nice little long sleeve shirt underneath, but I'm like, I am cold. I need to. So I took notes on this. How am I going to apply the lesson learned with a smaller situation and apply it to a larger situation, as I had mentioned earlier? Come up with a plan. What does that mean? Maybe specifically with certain goals that involve some type of monetary investment. That means I'm going to need to budget. So I need to come up with a plan for each day, like what each day must consist of, so that way I can train myself to have self-discipline. For example, I want every single day to consist of some type of physical activity. It doesn't have to be, he's clearly very upset that his phone fell. Groovy, just get it. Good boy. Self-discipline, okay? We just saw an act of self-discipline. He was too lazy to get off the couch, and then he said, you know what? If I want that bone, I gotta get off the couch. Lesson learned, lesson learned. So each day must consist of some form of physical activity. I wanna be realistic with my goals. I can for sure get some type of physical activity, whether that's walking my dog, going outside for a run or whatever. It doesn't necessarily always have to be the gym. It could be some type of even stretching, doing like a free workout on YouTube. Stretching. I want it to consist of some form of contribution to my YouTube channel, whether it's editing, filming, content, brainstorming. That's like a separate, you know, like a plan within a plan within a plan. So then that becomes more of like, okay, on this day it'll be like a filming day. On this day it'll be an editing day. What does that mean in my case? For me, it just takes me a bit longer to edit. Realistically, I need like 2 days to edit, not a day, not just a day, especially because I work. You know, I have my work on my day job, and then after work, I could focus on just pure editing. As long as it has something to do, it pushes me even an inch closer, or an inch further into developing my YouTube channel or business. As long as it pushes me an inch forward, that is progress. I need to challenge myself, but also be realistic, right? Because sometimes when you give yourself unrealistic expectations, you end up failing and then disappointing yourself, and then you're just right back to square one. Each day must consist of some form of physical activity, some form of YouTube channel content creation type of activity. The next thing I wrote too was having tighter deadlines. So not unrealistic deadlines, okay? Tighter deadlines. Just, I know this will work for me. Maybe everyone's different. Maybe you need a very accurate deadline. I need a tighter deadline because I am a procrastinator. If you tell me it's due by the end of day, I will literally have it due a minute before the end of day, which is not good. And last but not least, actually, this one really should have been the first one, is I want to devote more time to growing in my faith and learning more about it, because although I have been a Catholic my entire life, I was never really that close to it, or I wasn't very close to it. I was just, I'm Mexican, most Mexicans are Catholic, and it's very cultural. Only within the last few years have I started learning more and actually feel connected on a personal level with my faith. So I'm still learning, and I'm like a baby Catholic again. I'm still in the learning process, and so I in the mornings I usually will devote time early in the morning before I start work. I'll do some reading or listen to podcasts. I really like Bishop Barron and Father Mike Schmitz. It's been really nice. That's also another thing that I've been trying to include in my daily routine. And I also want to reiterate that not just with this situation, but with anything, I feel like it totally helps to look at things on a smaller scale. So if there's ever something that's frustrating you, or you're doing something but you want a different outcome, look at it on a smaller scale and see what would you do in a smaller scale situation. What would you do then, and then try to apply it to this larger scale. And I know there's different factors that come into play, so it's not going to always be consistently the same, but it's at least a starting point. I also already made my latte. When my mom was here, I love making lattes for people when they come over because we have this cute little latte maker right there. So I made my mom a latte and I made myself one, and then we chatted away. It was nice having her over on this rainy day. Hopefully there's you learned here. I sure learned something, only sharing what I've learned and what I'm currently working on. So currently a procrastinator. Hopefully soon I will have resolved that issue. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys later.